All right, so we want to talk a little bit about stable versus unstable atmosphere. And really, when we're talking about stability in the air, we're talking about the lapse rate. So, lapse rate refers to the ability of the air to have mobility to move upward or downward. If the air is in a state where it's not allowing itself to move up or down, then it's more stable. If it is, if the air is having the mobility or the ability to move upward or vertically, then we have an unstable air mass. So let's talk a little bit about that unstable air mass for a moment. In unstable air, and we see it here in Florida in the summertime quite a bit, heat from the ground or buildings or parking lots or whatever is causing a lifting force. It's causing to push up against the atmosphere, and as that air rises, it takes humidity with it. As the humidity gets up at altitude, it starts to condense and form clouds. In unstable air, you get what's called cumuliform clouds. They're the puffier clouds that look like cotton balls. And of course, the more lifting force you have, the taller those clouds are going to get. And they can form into thunderstorms, which we'll talk about in our next video. But you get, in unstable air, you get cumuliform clouds. You get showery precipitation. There's usually rough air and turbulence because of that vertical movement of the air. But on the good side of things, you get better visibility. And the reason you get better visibility is because the particulates that are in the air from pollution, smog, fog, whatever, are now able to get moved around and pushed around and separated and dispersed, basically. So they're not all packed into one area, and that makes for better visibility in total. In stable air means that, of course, you're not allowing this vertical movement so much in the air. It's indicative of temperature inversions where warmer air actually gets on top of cooler air. Normally, as we go up, you would see a drop in temperature, but in this case, in these stable air masses, you may have, or you will have, warmer air above the cooler air. And of course, the cooler air does not want to rise, so you get less vertical movement, unless, of course, you have some source of heat on the ground that's pushing upward. But when this occurs, you get stratiform clouds and fog. You get precipitation, and it's more of a continuous type and lighter precipitation than what you get from the unstable air. You get smoother air, so it's better flying in stable air, but you get fair to poor visibility and a lot of haze. The reason you get stratiform clouds and this haze and or layers of bad visibility is because the air is not moving up or down, so it sits in layers. You'll get this from high pressure as well, as the atmospheric pressure is pushing down on the lower pressure. You'll get some of that effect as well, but especially if you have temperature inversion, you're going to get these layers that form, and the air is not moving vertically, so it's not getting dispersed and it's not getting pushed around. So that covers what air masses are when they are stable or unstable.